Of course, on Saturday evening, and John, thanks for your call. On Saturday evening, one of the players who did play in the shirt of Manchester United had played before for Brentford. He was Christian Eriksen, who's come through a lot in his life, as we all know. And that's why Thomas Frank, post-match, decided to concentrate on some of the booing he heard from some of the Brentford fans, unhappy that Eriksen had chosen United.
I understand fans, how they can react. Personally, I think we as a club should show class, respect, integrity throughout every action that we do. That's what I try to do every single day. It doesn't have to be Christian. It could be, now I know, but Neil Mowbray coming back, Ollie Watkins, any player coming back, so nothing special about Christian. I think we should, the first time they come back, applaud them when they say their name. And then, of course, there's a banter where you can sing a little bit, but boo of a player, I think that's not class. That's not me. If fans want to do that, I will not say it's fine, but I will never do it.
Yeah, and I would never do it. I mean, I think Thomas Frank's absolutely right, Simon. What's wrong with that?
No, I wouldn't do it either. I mean, I'm not a major advocate of booing, but it's someone's right. And it's easy to be magnanimous when you've just beaten someone 4-0. If they'd have gotten beaten 4-0 and Eriksen was all over the park dictating Man United, there might not have been the same conversation. But the bottom line is, if he wants to suggest that there needs to be some decent behaviour from football fans, that's going to be a very long conversation. It's going to go on for a very long period of time to get football fans into a sanitised, pronoun speaking, balanced view of the world and behaving in a very culturally efficient way. Football fans boo. They boo players that used to play for the club that they're no longer placement. That's how it goes. That's why football has so much emotivity. It's not an ideal scenario, but football survives on emotivity and people being engaged. That's why everyone's getting the big bucks.
I mean, it doesn't make it right, Graeme, though, does it? I mean, Thomas Frank, I think, was quite right to highlight that.
Listen, what a footballer, with all due respect to Brentford, what a footballer at Brentford would turn down Man United? You know, he's got a short-term...
A bloody list of them, I should think.
You said at the time he should turn down anywhere else and stay with
normal
Brentford.
Times. No, but
that's not quite what I said.
Eriksen's got a chance to stay at Brentford or go to Man United.
Well, you said at the same time that he owes Brentford loyalty.
What I said, well, of course he owes Brentford loyalty. No one else was queuing up to take him back into a situation.
There would have been takers for him.
Well, no doubt about it. But at the time, there wasn't, was there? Because otherwise he wouldn't have landed at Brentford. No one was prepared.
Well,
he couldn't play Italian football because
the Danish connection. They won't allow you in Italy with that.
With respect, the Danish connection is asking someone to be compared to the Dutch league. We've sat here saying Ten Hag's manager.
No, you've got a Danish manager.
But it suited his needs at the time, Simon. Where could he reintroduce himself to the game in the most favourable fashion with Frank at Brentford?
Frame it properly. What I said was, Brentford gave him a chance. He repaid their chance, so that if they're in the conversation, then he should at least give them a hearing and an opportunity to perhaps re-sign him because they gave him the opportunity. Of course, I'm aware of the fact that the draw is Manchester United, and if he wants to go to Man United, it's going to be a draw. But I do believe in loyalty and integrity in football. And Brentford came out of the pack and said, "Tell you what, we see the vision. We believe you can come and play Premier League football, and we're going to give you that opportunity for a stage for that particular ball to rage." And so he did.
But could he have said no to United, who came in at that stage and might not come back in again?
Well, have a look. And perhaps you might think to yourself...
Yeah, but he didn't know that was going to happen.
Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe he did. But
Graeme says it's well now impossible to turn United down if you're a Brentford player.
Plenty of people have done. But Frankie de Jong's doing it now.
If you're Brentford, sorry, you've gone there to... rehabilitate, would that be the correct word? To introduce yourself back into football. And Man United comes along and makes you an offer. I'm sorry. 100 out of 100 players asked that question would say yes.
I agree. I understand. But it doesn't alter the fact that I still believe that there was a conversation that starts with loyalty.
You give it the big one about loyalty at the time.
But Jamie Vardy is not my favourite player. I think he's a bit of a wretch, but notwithstanding it, he could have gone to Arsenal. But he chose to recognise the fact that Leicester was a nice place to play football with. He was going to get a decent salary there, and he was valued highly there. So he stayed with Arsenal. Matt Letizia at Southampton. Other players have exhibited a certain characteristic which might be idealistic, it might be a utopian worldview, Gray, but notwithstanding it, it's something that can be admired at times.
Oh, is it a loyalty or is it the
lack of ambition?
Fancy the challenge, yeah.
Well, there's a different question, isn't it? That's a different question. I mean, ultimately, you can look at you can look at Kevin Keegan, went from Liverpool to Hamburg, came back to Newcastle and Southampton. You could say, what's that journey about? Mm-hmm. What's that? Is that about a lack of ambition, or is it about the opportunities that suit the player at the time?
Yeah. A whole different number of factors come into play, don't they? No, I'm not just saying with Souness, but you changed your tune.
I haven't changed my tune.
You were giving it the massive one about loyalty.
But I've just done the same thing.
You went for Danny Mills on this show about that.
There's not.
Well,
there's not a great deal of loyalty in football.
But it doesn't
on
make
both
it
sides.
right. Oh, hold on.
On the club, from the club towards the player, and the player towards the club.
Oh, go on,
I'm
Graeme.
not sure about that. I'm not sure about that, Gray. A player doesn't get much loyalty from an owner or someone that's playing him if his performances dip. If an owner's performances dip, then he just gets what he gets, full stop. The bottom line is an owner and a manager has a relationship with the player which is based upon the player's choice. If the player plays well, if the player's being marginalised and treated badly for no other reason than they want to treat him badly because maybe there's going to be a clause in his contract which gives him some more money if he plays another game, that's one thing. But this argument that gets made about loyalty, you managers are the only people that get paid for failing.
Yeah, but players do as well. Players sign a 5-year deal, get injured first day of training, they get paid 5 years' money.
Agreed.
But you've taken out a policy on that as an owner.
You're big on loyalty, you're not?
Yeah, to a point, but I understand the ruthlessness of players' attitude at times, which is enhanced by some of the agents that now act on their behalf.
When it works for you, you probably go with it, though. When it works, I mean, you
What
are
hat-
the man
what
who...
hat? Yeah, what hat should I put on?
Well,
Should I put my playing hat on?
well, you are the man who
Manager's hat?
took Maurice Johnson to Rangers when he said he was going back to Celtic.
Yes, and that was because we sold him a vision that he couldn't say no to.
Oh, I see. There you go. As for you...
What you want to see some loyalty from these Man United players towards their fans, because too many of them have got... I mean, we saw one of their players, I'm not going to name him, at a boxing last year, strolling in with a laissez-faire attitude after Man United got spanked on the weekend. It's culturally wrong inside Man United. That's their problem. And until you fix the culture... Jadon Sancho did not come in with a stinking attitude. Wasn't going to be... He was coming in with a big reputation that wanted to play for Man United. The culture in Manchester United is wrong.
There were two players
That's
at that
wrong.
boxing night. I'm trying to think of who it was. Coming up to 11:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.